Hi everyone, welcome to the Thursday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news, an AWOL soldier from Fort Campbell has been arrested near Fort Hood, Texas, with explosives and weapons in his vehicle. 21-year-old Private First Class Nazar Abdo was arrested by the Killeen Police Department, where he remains in custody, according to media reports. Abdo went AWOL from Fort Campbell on July 4th on the eve of his first deployment to Afghanistan, after he applied for conscientious objector status, which was approved this spring. Fort Campbell officials previously told Source 16 that Abdo cannot be discharged from the Army because he's facing charges of possessing child pornography on his military computer. Killeen police told reporters that Abdo was arrested at a motel in the city but did not release any other details. Reports indicate that Abdo was said to have been overheard making threatening statements to attack an Army post, possibly Fort Hood, and continued to make them following his arrest, according to federal law enforcement officials. Media reports indicate Texas authorities found the soldier in possession of a large quantity of ammunition, weapons, and a bomb inside a backpack. You may recall on November 5th, 2009, Major Nadal Hassan shot and killed 13 people at Fort Hood and wounded 30 others. He is currently standing trial facing the death penalty. Well, the Christian County School District has announced today the names of individuals appointed to serve on the newly established Christian County High School Advisory School-Based Decision-Making Council. Kentucky Commissioner of Education Terry Holliday appointed the following people: Jefferson Alexander, John Edwards, David Joyner, Alicia Lancaster, and Clint Willis. Christian County School District Communications Director Heather Aubin says the appointments were made by Holliday to fill current vacancies on the newly formed Advisory Council as a result of the leadership assessment process.
The hope of the Commissioner, Terry Holliday, is that the principal of the school and the district can utilize this Advisory Council in the building long-term leadership capacity. That dynamic leadership and instructional teams will be required to change in the school's outcomes for students. That would be the importance of this Advisory Council.
The new Advisory Council will not have the authority to vote or take action on school-related matters. And as we previously reported, Commissioner Holliday on February 15th decided to disband the former site-based decision-making council. Callaway County school officials have named a former kindergarten teacher as the next Callaway County preschool principal district-wide child care director. Alicia Stetson says, "I feel privileged to accept this position with Callaway County Preschool, which has consistently been a leader in early childhood education in Kentucky." Stetson adds, "I hope to continue the high standards set by this faculty and staff at the preschool and to lead them well as we serve the needs of Callaway County's youngest students and their families." In a story we brought you last night at 10, the defense attorney for Lori Little, the woman accused of attacking the wife of Hopkinsville's mayor, has requested a date for the judge to hear motions to dismiss the case and for a change of venue.
You said you want to have the motion for a change of venue heard at that time?
I haven't filed it yet, Your Honor.
Well, you haven't filed. Was there another hearing? You want to have it? You want to have a hearing on your motion for a speedy trial, for your motion to dismiss.
I want to set that on the same day.
Those are the two motions that,
yes,
at least at this point. Okay. All right, we can set those in for August the 24th, and you can file anything that you need to file that you haven't filed.
Prior to the discussion regarding the motion's hearing, Commonwealth's attorney Lynn Pryor told Judge Self that she's getting an affidavit from Sarah Kranz, who resigned from the Christian County Board of Education, that states she has no information regarding Little's daughter being homeschooled, as well as any and all records of homeschooled students in the school district. Those records are needed because during a previous hearing, Little claimed her daughter was to be homeschooled by the mayor's wife, Henrietta Kemp. She also indicated to Judge Self there were no taped interviews with Mayor Dan Kemp or Henrietta after she was allegedly attacked at their home by Little on December 16th, but that all notes and the police report were turned over to the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center. Judge Self told the attorneys he still has not received Little's medical records from Vanderbilt and Nashville, but that the case needs to move forward and those records and any other information can be supplemented. Again, Little will be back in court on the afternoon of August 24th. Two Callaway County residents were injured this morning in a head-on collision with a man police say was driving under the influence. State police say 34-year-old Bryony McDougal of Almo was traveling west on Almo Road in Callaway County around 1:15 this morning when at the intersection of Radio Road, his vehicle crossed into the other lane and crashed head-on into a vehicle driven by 43-year-old Rachel Stockwell of Almo. Stockwell was transported to Vanderbilt Medical Center for an ankle injury, and her 12-year-old passenger, Emily Stockwell, was transported to Murray-Callaway County Hospital for minor lacerations. McDougal refused treatment on the scene and was taken into custody on charges of driving under the influence, driving without insurance, driving with an open container, and failing to wear a seatbelt. He was lodged in the Callaway County Jail. 4 individuals were injured in 2 separate wrecks in Christian County Wednesday. Around 6:30 last night, Hopkinsville police report 20-year-old Michael Choate of Hopkinsville was hit while riding his bicycle southbound on the sidewalks and shoulder of Fort Campbell Boulevard near Nelson Drive. Choate told police he saw a vehicle turn toward him out of a parking lot, and the next thing he remembered was flipping over the handlebars and landing on the ground. According to the report, Choate could not give a description of the vehicle or where exactly on the boulevard he was hit. Choate was taken by private vehicle to Jenny Stewart Medical Center for treatment. Meanwhile, the Christian County Sheriff's Department reports 3 people were injured earlier in the day in a 2-vehicle wreck on Madisonville Road. The report shows that 49-year-old Jody Williams of Nortonville was on Madisonville Road when he went to pass another vehicle in front of him. It hit another car turning left, driven by 47-year-old Ronnie Harris of Hopkinsville. After the collision, Williams' vehicle hit a guardrail, traveled down an embankment, and then crossed a small creek. Harris, Williams, and his passenger, 47-year-old Maudie Williams, also of Hopkinsville, were all transported by ambulance to Jenny Stewart Medical Center. Senator Mitch McConnell ripped Senate Democrats Thursday morning after a statement that they would not consider a Republican plan to raise the debt ceiling.
So I was shocked last night when 53 Senate Democrats issued a letter saying they intend to vote against the only piece of legislation that has any chance of preventing all this from happening. Even more shocking is the fact that Democratic leaders and the President himself have endorsed every feature of this legislation except one. And that's the fact that it doesn't allow the President to avoid another national debate about spending and debt until after the next presidential election.
Democrats say they won't support the Republican plan, which would also require Congress to submit a balanced budget amendment to the states for ratification. The debt ceiling is set to expire next week. There's also talk President Obama will invoke a portion of the 14th Amendment, which analysts say will allow him to raise the debt ceiling without the consent of Congress. Congressman Ed Whitfield said the Postal Service should not be saving money by closing mostly rural post offices. Whitfield encouraged Postmaster General Patrick Donahoe to look for alternative money-saving measures. A list of 3,700 post offices was issued earlier this month, all of which will be studied for possible closure or relocation. Offices are targeted due to low foot traffic, reduced sales, and declining volume. According to the Postal Service, all offices are individually reviewed. Of the 3,700 post offices scheduled for review, approximately 130 are located in Kentucky. Well, as summer comes to a close, parents, teachers, and students are beginning to look forward to the first day of school. But even though one school won't be opening its doors on August 9th, that doesn't mean people aren't talking about it. Michelle Herron brings us a sneak peek of the new Christian County Middle School.
Summer is winding down for teachers and students as they both are gearing up to go back to school. But this summer has been no vacation for new Christian County Middle School site manager Dan Damron, who's been working through the scorching heat to make sure the project is done on time. I met up with Damron for a sneak peek of the campus and found out not only will students benefit from its state-of-the-art technology, but also will the environment.
It's all geothermal. We drilled 280 wells to get everything in here.
Now the site, which you can see right here behind me, is still 4 months from being completed, but it has already been awarded Energy Star efficiency. One of those reasons is because of its geothermal heat pumps.
It's right next to as high as you can get, so as far as the energy efficiency.
In the winter, the pumps move the heat from the earth into the building and pull the heat from the building into the ground in the summer. And according to the Department of Energy, the school will consume 25 to 50% less electricity compared to traditional heating and cooling systems.
You'll be hard pressed to go anywhere in the United States and be better than we have right here in town.
Another way Dameron says the school will conserve energy is through its lights.
Every classroom, the outside row of lights, as it gets brighter in the day, turns themselves off to save energy.
And an energy management program will also ensure energy isn't wasted by leaving lights on in the building.
So that every night, all the lights go off at the same time, only certain ones on. Override button if you need to be here, and then it'll turn itself off when you leave.
Over 900 students will use the latest technology with 3 computer labs and a media center to complete projects and assignments.
You know, what I used to think was science fiction is going to be in the classroom now. So I think it's a great thing.
An example that Dameron says proves the Walt Disney quote to be true. If you can think it, you can do it.
Crews still have until 4 months from now until construction's complete. Students and teachers will move into the building when they come back from Christmas break.